Hello Virgo, welcome to your mid-November reading for 2018. Thank you for joining me. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus signs. Before I get started, I just wanted to mention that if you're interested in purchasing any of the Oracle, Tarot decks or any accessories that I use in my readings, you can visit my Amazon store. There's a clickable link in the descriptions box below. While you're down there, you can check out my new WordPress blog. And there you can interact with me and talk all things tarot, so I hope to see you there. So let's get started, Virgo. For your oracle cards from the Shadows and Light Oracle, you've pulled the Dried Flower Fairy, Sweet Memories. So of course it is speaking about easier times, pleasant memories of the past. Could be youth, your childhood, innocence I also get with this. And I do get an energy of bringing back those happier moments and the way that you felt during happier times into the present. Now from the Divine Circus, you've pulled the card of Brilliant Virgin. Now this card speaks about remaining true to your own beliefs. In a world where we're bombarded with differing opinions, ideas. The card speaks about remaining true to you and your own point of view, not being swayed by differing opinions and ideas, letting go of confusion, distortion, comparison and compromise. You do not need to compare yourself to another or measure up to anyone or anything else. What matters to you and your successful life journey is to be in touch with your own truth. You know what you feel, no matter what anyone else says or believes, so stay true to you, Virgo. As your overall energy, you have the card of the Night Ride from the Oracle of Mystical Moments. Now this card speaks about protection, friendship, a shoulder to lean on. You'll see the elephant here transports two owls on his back, a mother with her young bird. Protectively, she has folded a wing over the young owl's head. And the elephant rides through the night, blowing stars up into the sky through his trunk. Connected with magic and wonder, the elephant is a protector, a strong shoulder to lean on. Even during dark times, you can feel safe and secure. So there is an element of being protected here in some way. So I like the energy. It does speak about for you going back to a time where you felt, it's almost like do you remember in childhood where you felt more secure because you were protected by your parents? And then when you get out into the world by yourself, you realize that the world is actually scarier than you could ever have imagined. To me, these cards speak about going back to a time where you felt protected, safe, secure. So let's see where this energy goes. I'm going to leave this as your overall energy, Virgo. And let's get started. I'm going to use the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake for your energy and the Universal Waite deck for your the person that you're thinking about. Now Virgo, I've already meditated on your energy, so I'm going to do a shuffle. And let's get started. We'll focus in on what you have brought to this situation in the past. What has Virgo brought to this situation in the past? 10 of Wands. Okay. I love this card. You'll see the little cat that he's carrying on his shoulders there. So there is an element here of taking on a lot of responsibility. Perhaps feeling a bit of stress, feeling overburdened. Okay, we have the Hierophant, so it could be in relation to a commitment, possibly a marriage or something that was a traditional belief. Perhaps it was tradition itself that you were burdened by. The energy of the Hierophant is about rigidity, structure. So there is an element here of I pick it up also as, for some of you, it will be about belief systems, values, religion, and being burdened by these beliefs, burdened by structure. Let's see the other person and what they've brought to this situation in the past. What has this other person brought to this situation in the past? What has this other person brought to this situation in the past? Page of Pentacles in reverse. What has this other person brought to this situation? Okay. Page of Pentacles in reverse, the Emperor and the Knight of Cups in reverse. You know, the energy that I think that you came into in the past was perhaps you were already involved in something traditional. Virgo, it may have been a marriage, something that you felt burdened by. That's what I'm getting. Now, this other person that you're thinking of, Virgo, what they came into this with was that I believe that they were not accepting any kind of offer. I don't think that they were interested in taking anything to that next level. They were not willing to put any effort into growing a relationship. And it has a lot to do with, you know, I think that Emperor energy is more about you. They may have felt you were a bit controlling. Remember, this can be the opposite way around. It can resonate vice versa. But I don't think that this other person was interested in taking up an offer or following through on an offer. Let's see. I want to see where you currently stand with this individual. Where does Virgo currently stand with this individual? The Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Where does Virgo currently stand with this individual? The Six of Pentacles. Now, with this one, I do feel like you're cutting your losses, and you only want to give to a situation where you feel like you're going to get back at least equally what you've given in. You want there to be that equality, that balance. It may have been a situation here where you've cut your losses, something that you were giving to that you thought was not going to pay off. But I do get your energy here of only being interested in giving to something that is actually going to pay off for you. Now, when it comes to the other person, where do they currently stand? Where does this other person currently stand? The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Swords. So there seems to be someone here who is not very driven. They're lacking in ambition, drive. There is an inability to see the way forward. I pick it up as a lot of chaos, confusion in their life, uncertain about where they want to go with their life. There's a sense of dissatisfaction with this card, being unhappy with the way things have worked out, possibly even to do with their work, their career, general feeling of dissatisfaction with this and needing to make clear choices but not doing so. I can't help but think Virgo, that this is a partner from the past, one that maybe came into you with all kinds of promises. They may have even married you, and then, I want to say, broken their vow, broken their promise, and pulled out. They may have originally wanted to grow things with you, take this to the end game, you know, that happily ever after, a long-standing commitment. I do think that you viewed this person as someone who was mature enough for that, but it turns out that they turned around and changed their mind, is what I'm getting. And they took back these offers of love and stability. Okay. Let's see where you hope to stand with this person in the future, Virgo. The High Priestess. So you've become a lot more enlightened. Oh, that's way too many. Let's pull one card here for the where you hope to stand with this person in the future. Okay, it's better. Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you've become a lot more enlightened. You're listening to your gut instinct, your inner wisdom here when it comes to a failed relationship, a breakup, something that didn't work out. And I think for you, you're only interested now in giving into something that's going to pay off for you. Because this relationship in the past, this marriage, this long-term partnership ended up being quite a hard, heavy burden for you to carry, especially when this person went back on their word, I feel. Now, where does this other person hope to stand with this situation? Where does the other person hope to stand in this situation? Where does the other person hope to stand? Seven of Wands in reverse. Where does this other person hope to stand with this situation in the future? What is the energy of the other person? Okay. Seven of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse. Well, they've given up because they don't feel the passion anymore, the enthusiasm, the excitement. So I get an energy here that you were involved with someone who likes that initial stage of love where things are very exciting, lustful. But they tend to give up once that fades, and they're no longer interested in sustaining what comes next, which is something that is more grounded, more stable. For them, their focus is very much on new love, new excitement. They may even be someone here who's going through some kind of midlife crisis, wanting to feel this youthfulness, this vitality. You know, it's a very phallic symbol, so it is about lust, attraction. But I think you're seeing this for what it is now. Let's see how you're viewing them, Virgo. How is Virgo viewing this other person? How is Virgo viewing this other person? How is Virgo viewing this other person? The Eight of Wands and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, you see them making some kind of hasty move, taking very spontaneous action here. And with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, I do feel that they are... It is a person who did offer a chance at growth, at prosperity, at a future, but they've taken that back now, and I do feel that you are aware that this person seems to go back on their word. They don't put the effort in, and I think you view them as quite a spontaneous person, someone who just acts without any follow through. Now, how they're viewing you, Virgo, Let's see. How is this other person viewing Virgo? How is this other person viewing Virgo? Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups in reverse. Okay. It's interesting. They may see you as someone who has wanted to get back with them in the past and wanted to try again. There is, again, I get this card of sweet memories. There is history with this person. You do have good memories. Not everything was bad with this relationship. At the beginning, things were very sweet, very, very lovely. And for you, yeah, I do feel an energy here of you wanting to go back to that, feeling that way with this person. I do think that they recognize that. Okay, let's see what your doubts and fears are, Virgo. Doubts and fears for Virgo. Three of Wands, so you're doubting future success here, especially when it comes to commitment from this person. Growth, yeah, the world. You're doubting that this can be a successful completion. It seems to be an energy here of something that was left unfinished. I think that they went back on their word. They may have committed to you, but then pulled out. I think it is because of how they're feeling within themselves. There's a lot of confusion about themselves because they're dissatisfied with how things have worked out. I get a very strong energy of someone going through a crisis of some kind. Could be midlife crisis, quarter life crisis, some kind of energy here of not being happy with how things have turned out for them. They seem to be giving up on you because of they don't feel that passion, that spark anymore. But they see that you may want to return to them, or at least that's their view. It may be a fantasy. They may just fantasize that you want to come back and renew things with them. Could also be that. But you're doubting the future success of this, certainly. Let's have a look and see what their doubts and fears are. Doubts and fears of the person that Virgo is dealing with. Doubts and fears of the person that Virgo is dealing with. What are the doubts and fears here of the person that Virgo is dealing with? Seven of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. Well, they're doubting that they can have a new start with you, anything that has potential for stability or to be built on that strong, solid, prosperous foundation. They think that it's all a fantasy, that this is just fantasy. I get the energy here is if you are communicating with them, and you might be communicating with them about wanting to get back together, but if you are, this person is just thinking that this is all fantasy, that it's not, you're not thinking clearly, not thinking logically when it comes to that strong, solid foundation of a new start. Let's look at your challenge. That'll give us a clue. What is the challenge for Virgo? What is the challenge for Virgo? Queen of Pentacles, well, that's you. Five of Wands and the Magician, yeah. You know, your challenge here is to recognize that what you had was a certain level of stability, I feel, with this person. But there was a lot of well, you know, I see that all these women in this card, and I can't help but feel that there were a lot of things that you were not aware of with this other person. There may have been competing forces, competition from outside influences. And your challenge here, I feel, with that Magician card is to recognize your own self-worth. Act confidently when it comes to manifesting what you want. With that Five of Wands as a challenge there, it's certainly about not being drawn into any kind of battles or conflicts with a person. It's rising above and recognizing that you're better than that, and that you don't need to engage in competition. You don't need to compare yourself to other people, and I do feel like that may have happened. You may have felt like you were being compared unfairly, or that you were comparing yourself unfairly to perhaps someone here who you viewed as competition for this person. Let's see what their obstacle, what their challenge is. What is the challenge for the person that Virgo is dealing with? I do think that this person left you, went back on a promise here to go towards something else. I think it's a midlife crisis. They lost the passion with you, so that they moved on. They may see you as wanting to come back here, but I don't think that... Well, they recognise that this is fantasy, that this is not going to happen. And what is the challenge here for the person that Virgo is dealing with? What is the challenge for the person that Virgo is dealing with? What is the person's challenge? This other person's challenge? What is their challenge? Six of Wands. Well, they have to get victory over a loss, something that they're grieving, the end of something, perhaps something that they went to after you. There seems to be a lot of regret, sadness, perhaps about the way things ended with you as well. But in general, I do feel that this person is very pessimistic, focused on what hasn't worked in their life, and they're not focusing on the future or what can still be achieved. They're very much focused on the negative aspects of what's happened to them. They have to get victory over this. They have to achieve victory over how they are feeling. I feel that this is more about emotions. Now let's have a peek here at the outcome, and then we'll take this to part 2. I'll be pulling out a lot more cards in the extended version, so if this is resonating, please join me there. The link is below in the descriptions box, and that will be on my Vimeo channel. We have the Six of Swords. Oh, excuse me. That one dropped on the floor. The Knight of Wands, okay. And we'll get one more here. What is the potential outcome here for Virgo? I like this energy for you. I do feel like you are, wow, that's great. Eight of Swords in reverse. So I do feel like you're going to move on from this. I do have an energy here of you taking action and releasing yourselves from some limiting beliefs, some constraints, self-imposed constraints. So I really like that energy for you. And let's look at the potential outcome for the other person. Potential outcome for the person that Virgo is dealing with. Potential outcome for the person that Virgo is dealing with. Okay. Well, they have the Three of Cups, Seven of Swords, so I do think that they have snuck away here, removed themselves from the relationship with you, possibly to go towards this Queen of Swords, possibly an air sign or someone acting like the Queen of Swords. And with the Eight of Swords there, it does seem like they're just walking into another situation where they're just going to feel trapped again. So we'll see where that goes. Virgo, I do feel like you have sweet memories with this person. This person may have acted like your protector in the past. You may have viewed them as your protector, someone who was supporting you in your journey. But I do feel an energy with this brilliant Virgin card of you letting go of confusion, distorted views around the situation, letting go of comparison as well, feeling like you've been unfairly compared to others or doing this to yourself, and also not compromising. You don't need to compare yourself to another or measure up to anyone or anything else. What matters to you is to be in touch with your own truth. No matter what anyone else says or believes, stay true to you. So it is bringing you a message. Do not allow yourself to be swayed by another, no matter how well-meaning their intentions or how impressive their arguments may seem. You know, I get an energy here of how to put this into words. There's an energy of innocence around you, Virgo. And someone else has kind of tried to get you to go in a different direction and not be true to yourself. And I would say, if someone is trying to force you into a lifestyle or trying to force you to fit in with their beliefs, this is something that you need to let go of. Because I have them as someone who is not a very trustworthy person, let's put it that way. So we'll leave it there and we'll take this to part 2. So if this is resonating, please join me there. The link is below in the descriptions box and that will be on my Vimeo channel. If I don't see you there, then I wish you all the best with this, Virgo, and I will speak to you again very soon. Bye for now.